Hello again, everybody.
Oh my Gideon, is that who I think it is? Oh, it really is. That's Flat Earth Santa from like a million years ago. Yeah, this guy was one of my first ever Flat Earth subjects. He had this entire qualification for his video that he wasn't a fool.
People who know me personally know that I am not a fool.
Therefore, he couldn't be wrong about the Earth being flat. A self-refuting argument if I ever did hear it, but damn. This should be interesting, seeing as, wow, my old videos are a bit cringe and garbage. Let's see how much better I can do with him now that I am 100% cringe and garbage.
You know, I don't think the global earthers are quite as smart as they think they are, and today I'm going to give you a short proof of that.
Oh nice, so today we're going with the opposite tack. I'm right, because these people aren't as smart as they think they are. Well, the thing is, mate, not being as smart as you think you are doesn't mean that you are wrong about any specific topic. I mean, take me for instance. I think I'm about as smart as a smashed grapefruit, and I'm almost certainly dumber than that. But I am always right about everything I ever say, because it's not about how smart you are, it's about how handsome. And being the most handsome, I am the most right. And anyone who disagrees with me is obviously hideous. Stands to reason, really.
First, I want to state that I think the very simplest proof that we live on a flat Earth is...
Let's play a quick game of which completely eviscerated flat Earth argument is he going to use. A. It looked flat. B. Zoom horizon. C. Durr. Or D. All of the above. Place your bets in the comments now. If you win, you'll get the love, care and affection of at least 0 people, which is 1 more people than I got when I was growing up.
the proof of the horizon, that you can see objects miles and miles away.
Yeah, it was D. What a complete non-shock. It always makes me laugh when they bring up the horizon as proof of flat, considering when you actually know what you're looking at, it couldn't be any better proof of the old glob. It's almost like these people don't know what they're talking about or something.
That should be hidden under the curvature of the Earth, if in fact the Earth was curved.
Which they are, because otherwise you could see clear across the f***ing planet, you absolute melt. You can't do that because the Earth doesn't flat. Also, oh, but when me zoom in, me see thing I didn't see before. Yes, you would, because that's how zoom works. But isn't it strange that it doesn't bring things that you shouldn't see beyond the horizon, only things that are simply too small for your eyes to resolve? Weird that, eh?
There's some excellent videos out there. I especially love the videos concerning the Chicago skyline.
You mean the ones that show the tippy tops of buildings hundreds of meters up, but somehow, no matter how much you zoom in with a Nikon P900, you will never ever be able to see the streets. Almost like there's something in the way of your view of them. Hum-de-hum-de-hum.
And then there's some great ones also that deal with islands that you see from many miles away that should not be visible at all if we in fact lived on a curved Earth or a global Earth.
And I am 100% sure that those videos aren't getting anything completely and totally wrong, like using the wrong measurements or not understanding that the heights of things affect the distance that they can be viewed from, and vice versa. Or are just repeating something that someone repeated that someone repeated that someone just plain lied about. Those are all things the flat earthers never do.
Today, this proof deals with the airplane.
Of course it does. Is it a toy airplane again? I hope it is, because that's your favourite thing to do. Just get your toy plane collection out, go meow, meow, meow with it, and for some reason film yourself doing that, put it on YouTube, and then remind everyone that you are in fact not a fool.
I'm not a foolish fool.
Seriously, it's beyond parody.
I looked up this question on the internet.
Ooh, the internet. How fancy. Only really smart people and nerds use that, not literally everyone on the planet all the f***ing time or anything like that. Yeah, I know it's a petty point, but clarifying that you looked something up on the internet post-fecking 2010 is a complete and total no-duh, especially if it's a flat earth argument, because you aren't going to find any books supporting it in a library, because libraries are for smart people. Or, you know, for a not an insignificant portion of them, they just don't exist anymore. Sad.
Does the spin of the Earth affect flights?
I can answer that. No. But did you look that up on the old Googles and, actually read and understand what was presented? Or did you go to a Flurf forum and find an answer you wanted and say, well, there it is. Correct again. I am so smart. I have a funny feeling it's the latter.
Well, one of the sites I got to was from the University of Cambridge, entitled The Naked Scientists.
Naked scientists? Well, I am f***ing sold. Everyone knows that the best kind of science is naked science. That's why I spend so much time on Pornhub whilst researching on videos, and not other reasons, honest mum. But okay, cool. You are actually doing the former, except obviously you are going to misunderstand what the science nudist said. Otherwise the Sir Sick video wouldn't be happening. This'll be fun.
So Dave asked, does the flight take longer if the plane is flying against the spin of the Earth? Dominique answered, well, in fact, what's important is the plane's speed relative to the Earth's atmosphere.
Yes, the stuff around the plane, because it's all being affected by the Earth's spin at the same time, effectively making it all one thing in that sense. Like how the ocean is one thing even though it's full of fish. And on the fish analogy, if you had a fish in a bowl and took it on an adventure around the room, the fish would stay relatively stationary relative to its bowl. Basically the same thing happens with planes, etc. And no, it really doesn't matter that air is less dense than water. The only density in this interaction that matters is yours. And it is profound.
The air around it, because that's what's giving it its lift up into the air. And that's what is providing the friction, which is meaning it's having to thrust to keep going forward.
Yes, when you're in the air is exactly what keeps you there. No air, the plane does the big fall and the crash into the groundy boys. That's how it works. And I would love flat earthers to provide a model of reality that accounts for, how that stuff works. And I don't mean one thing at a time, which they could technically do. You can say, well, my model fits perfectly and makes sense. There's an invisible guy named Fred who picks up all the airplanes and sets them down. And that's how planes work. But doesn't account for the fact that there's only one of him and many planes, that Fred's very corporeal body doesn't interact with the rest of the planet, or explain why wind speed has such a large impact on the planes themselves, etc. No, you need a model that explains pretty much everything at the same time with minimal contradictions, instead of literally every idea your lot has contradicting each other all the goddamn time. Good luck on that one, guys.
I'm going to stop there for a second. Think about what that's saying.
Well, okay, but you first, and I mean really think, don't just assume that your very first takeaway from this is correct and go on to double and triple down on an idea that you didn't understand, because, well, that would be absolutely tragic and hilarious, so it's not like I'm going to stop you.
The plane's speed relative to the Earth's atmosphere is where he starts. Well, everyone says, all the global earthers say that the atmosphere is spinning at over 1,000 miles per hour along with the Earth as it hurtles eastward at over 1,000 miles per hour.
Yeah, close enough. It's all spinning at pretty much the same rate, making it, from our relative perspective, not to be moving at all. That's how it works. What, pray tell, do you have in your arsenal of extremely smart-brained ideas that will refute that exactly?
So, the plane's speed relative to the Earth's atmosphere. Let's continue reading.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Nothing. You have literally nothing. Is that what this is going to be? Are you just going to read this whole thing and then just finish off with, pfft, I don't believe, or understand, any of that, therefore it is wrong? God damn it, if this all ends with an argument from incredulity, I am going to be mad with a capital F you.
The Earth's atmosphere is rotating with the surface of the Earth below it. The reason is because it's got friction with the land masses beneath it, and that means the air is always being pulled to rotate with the Earth. Think about that for a second.
Right, so that's just simple but accurate science guy answers as far as I'm aware, and not really much to make fun of, apart from the fact that while reading it you can hear a hint of amusement. The vague chuckle of an absolute cretin who thinks he's being smart whilst actually being dumber than several sacks of particularly stupid koalas. Smooth-brained little bastards that they are.
Have you ever considered how much friction the air has with respect to the Earth, and that friction is so great that it affects all the air up to miles over the Earth, so that all the air in the atmosphere is hurtling at speeds of over 1,000 miles per hour.
Yep, that's how it works. See, I think I know where you're going to fail to understand here. And it's almost universally what flat earthers seem to be incapable of grasping, and it's scale. They never seem to be able to wrap their heads around the fact that the planet is big. Like, really big. Like, really, really mind-bogglingly huge. Like, mahoosively... Oh, you get my point. It is as big as they are dumb.
And remember, as you get higher up in the atmosphere, the circle is larger. The sphere would be larger, and therefore the air higher up would have to be going faster in order to get around the complete circumference of the Earth within 24 hours.
Right, let me show you something. Maybe you could be technically correct in a world without objects along the ground and all other forces at play, but whatever. Even if you were totally correct about that really high up air thing, it would be in one of them there completely meaningless ways, because let me show you what kind of difference you're talking about. In your little tale, you talk about it being miles up, which is true, but then when you put those miles, about 7 of them for cruising altitude, into context, they are this far away from the planet. What's that? You can't see it? Yeah, because what you call miles up is basically right next to the planet. The wind going around the Earth is like an ultra-thin skin along the surface of the planet. So seriously, what difference do you think being here, here, or here would make to how noticeably different the airspeed would be? I'm guessing not much.
Would have to be going faster than 1,000 miles per hour.
In your let's not take anything else into account model, yes, but barely.
Dominique continues, so in fact, because the air above us is rotating at the same speed as the land below, and what matters is your airspeed, your speed versus the air, it doesn't matter whether you're going with or against the rotation of the Earth.
Absolutely, and that is what we see and experience. The rotation of the Earth is not something one has to factor in because, as we've already said, everything is doing it. In fact, mentioning planes is perfect for this situation because, as everyone and their dog points out, you don't really notice the movement of a plane at cruising speed, even though it's going at 500 plus miles an hour, which is over half of that you should totally be able to feel it speed of the Earth. And that's in a tiny sky tube. Imagine if you were on something, I don't know, tens of thousands of times that size. You would barely be able to register that speed with fairly sensitive instruments. Oh right, like how it does the being of. Shonk.
Did you catch how meaningless that answer is? That answer actually has no bearing to reality?
No, I didn't, because it was a perfectly satisfactory answer. The only meaninglessness in this video is, well, everything you say. And to a lesser extent what I say, but at least what I say is famous and good at the sex. And yes, words can have those qualities. We already discussed that I am always correct, so I won't have any more of your back chat.
Let me illustrate. Okay, here is the globe.
Finally, don't lie and tell me this isn't what you have all been waiting for. God, I hope he pulls out his fucking aeroplane as well. That'll make this an absolute nostalgia-gasm. Man, I genuinely never thought I would or could feel like this about a flat earther. It's like a big comfy dumbass blanket.
And the globe, we are told, is always hurtling to the east at over 1,000 miles per hour.
Not just told you, you can literally test it. But I always forget, you can't do actual science. That'll involve getting out of your armchairs and not just making up shit to justify what you believe. But yeah, you could test it. There's a super simple one using a pendulum that gives results completely consistent with being on a rotating ball boy.
Now, if an airplane was going east also...
Oh, no, don't you do it. That's not going to work out for you, Chief. I promise you. It's going to make you look even stupider than you have so far. And honestly, that's kind of an impressive feat. Just not one that you want to be like advertising on the internet. I mean, imagine opening up the Guinness Book of World Records to find your face next to world's dumbest asshole. Wait, what the fuck?
It would be up in the air. It would be subject to that 1,000 mile per hour speed. And then it would have its own speed relative to that 1,000 miles per hour. And therefore, you would add the speed of the airplane to it, which would make it at 1,500, 1,600 miles per hour.
Yes, and very much no. Right, no one measures the speed of things on Earth as whatever plus the rotation of the planet unless they are launching f***ing rockets into space. Probably. Even then, I don't know if they do, because I'm not a rocket surgeon. But for sure, I don't say I'm going to the shops at 1001 miles an hour. Although that's mostly because I don't go to the shop, there are people there. I get my groceries hand-delivered to my front door. I try to get them to bring them inside, but they get scared off by all the screaming for some reason.
So if you're going east, if we're going from America over to England, then we'd get there very quickly.
And there it is. He did not understand the premise of what was said in the Rudy Doody Scientoody's answer. No, you old boof. You absolutely wouldn't, because in the context of being on Earth, the 1,000 miles an hour is completely moot. It's not there, like how walking down the length of a plane either way wouldn't make you zoom at 500 miles an hour one way. And I don't even know what you expect the other way. But thankfully it doesn't happen like that because physics. But yeah, the entire point is that you cannot tell. And you didn't understand that, which is why you think it's wrong, because you dumb. Me am the shocked.
However, that would not be the case if you were going from England back to America, would it? Because in that case, your airplane would be going against 1,000 mile per hour headwinds.
The Earth and the winds you are talking about are moving at the same speed and direction, you absolute brainlet. How does someone fail to understand such a concept so hard and be so f***ing sure they're right? Sorry, I just answered my own question, didn't I?
It would be totally different going the other way, and yet those who believe in the global Earth do not seem to recognize it.
You would think that such an obvious fact in your eyes might give you pause and maybe think, maybe I've misunderstood something. If everyone else doesn't seem to understand, perhaps I really should read up on what they actually say. Oh wait, no, you did that, and you still didn't understand. I guess that means you are a goddamn fool. Who would have imagined?
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the